Part of the problem we have in the UK, and this is Trend to Change from Essence Guy. Just a few thoughts for today. Obviously, one major problem we have is the Labour leadership. Whether or not you like me, whether or not you hate me, I don't know. I know some people don't like me, some people do. Some people try to be derogatory towards me, but hey, at the end of the day, it all helps the algorithm. And no, I don't do this for money or anything else. I share my viewpoints. I share some insights to where I think things are going. And I will always say that a lot of things are a good, educated opinion. Okay? Sometimes I might be wrong. It is what it is. I'm not infallible, but there you go. But keep trying to keep it off politics. The one problem that we have in the UK at the moment, and it's become more prevalent since 2014, 2015, and we've had a decade of this. And the phrase is, "That isn't my job." Okay. Now I'm all for doing your job description, doing things, getting things done. But when we go into work or we are paid for our time, let's say, and to be honest with you, in some cases, the pay isn't that wonderful. I think, again, we can all agree, especially with the cost of living that certain people that I will not mention have caused, but you know, we've got to remember that when we take on a job, we have said to our employees, we will do what we can, where we can, and put the very best effort we can in. Now, I'm going to give you an example. If you hire someone to build a kitchen, and they build a kitchen, and there's rough edges, there's everything else like that. Essentially, they built the kitchen. You can't complain about that. They built the kitchen, but they've left off things that, make it habitable, a little bit more comfortable, that sort of thing. Now, if you have a person who says, "I'll build your kitchen," and leave sharp edges, where rough areas, some things that perhaps aren't finished off the way they should be, are you going to be happy with that? Because obviously they've built the kitchen to their mind. They built the kitchen, they've done that, the kitchen's installed, but they haven't given the best work that they possibly could give for your home. And sometimes we've got to remember, when we're in work, we hear the phrase, "Oh, that's not my job," or "I'm not paid to do that," or anything else. Well, there's a lot of things that we aren't paid to do. But you got to remember, when it comes down to it, does it cost anything for an extra 5 minutes to perhaps say, "Oh, you know what, no worries, I'll try and find out for you"? Back when I came up through working, if there was something that wasn't exactly on our job thing, we wouldn't even say, "Oh, well, that's not my job." And I hear it an awful lot of times, especially in supermarkets. "Oh, that's not my section, that's not my job." Well, that's great, but instead of perhaps saying that, say, "Give me 1 minute, I'll help you find someone who can help you." Now I may only be talking about semantics or anything else like that, but we have these days, what is the minimum I can do to get the maximum amount? And quite frankly, it isn't a good work ethic. When I'm out working on the doors, or when I'm doing some stuff, there are times where I will close up a section of the pub, bar, whatever you want to call it, and there will be glasses outside on the garden benches that I haven't been able to bring in yet. Now, I could turn around and say, "Well, that's not my job, that's not for me to do, that's for the glass collector." But no, in order to get things done, I'll pick up the glasses, I'll bring them in, I'll put them in a place where the person who collects them can come and collect them, and they can take it away easy. Doesn't take me 2 minutes, and then I lock up and make sure that that job is done and finished. Doesn't take me not even 2 minutes. It takes me a minute, if that. My whole shift is not affected by doing something that isn't necessarily my job, but it helps the night move forwards and it helps get things done. And the rest of the people have a bit of an easier time, and that minute usually saves around about 5 minutes on the whole to get other things done. But like I said, we face this problem of like minimum effort, maximum pay. Now I'm all for getting paid for what you do. I'm all for, if there is something out of your pay grade. I mean, I can't go behind the bar and pull pints, that's quite obvious. I can't do that, but I can do little things that, you know, you know what I mean. Or I can, if somebody needs to know where something is, I can direct them, or I can get somebody to say, oh, this is where this thing is. But for the past couple of months, I have been in a situation where I said, look, can we sort this? Oh, well, that's not my job. Or we don't talk to these people. We don't talk to that people. And they're all part of the same company. And I made the point of, if you communicate more, if you take things through and actually communicate and work and be a little more, integrate yourselves a little bit more, then perhaps things would go a little bit easier, rather than having to fight every step of the way to get things done. So, I suppose we have a culture of apathy. Now, the other main problem, the reason for this as well, is that the UK used to be a big manufacturing country. Now we are a country of consumerism. We consume more than we manufacture. We have no manufacturing, no British manufacturing companies. It's all foreign companies, which again is a problem. In schools, you don't have the subjects sometimes that we used to have. We used to have home economics. We used to have a lot of things. We used to use machines in the workshops to make wooden figurines, boxes, all that kind of stuff. From what I've heard now, a lot of schools don't have that. We don't have children being trained on how to work. They're being indoctrinated by a certain set of exams that the system says you need to have that, and if you think differently, we'll mark you wrong, rather than teaching people to think. And this is a problem that we have now. And those people who go through this system, or who believe in this system, will fight outrageously those people who do actually think, who express opinions, who have ideas. And it is a dangerous occurrence that we have in the UK today. We can even see now with our Prime Minister, and I said I didn't want to get too political, but the way he is being dictatorial, the way he is, in some cases, where he is saying, this is what happens and we don't care about what the people think. We can see the problem coming through there, that people are being systemized. They're being integrated into a collective that doesn't think and essentially act like automatons. And working is fine, following instruction is fine, but being an automaton is not fine at all. So, we have a very big problem with a lot of things. And I don't know how we're going to get out of it. I do know this, though, is that we need to bring back a lot of solid work skills, a lot of practical skills. We need to bring back a lot of things where people think, people think, you know, actually I do need to take the initiative a little bit more. I do need to push myself forwards a little bit more. I do need to do this. Yes, it may not be my job, but I can do this to help the team or help the company move forwards. That's probably why we're losing a lot of businesses, because people are like, oh, well, it's not my job. So just a few thoughts today. You know, especially after today, I asked around about 3 people the same question. Oh, that's not my job, that's not my area. And I'm like, well, can you get someone who is? And they're like, oh, I don't know who it is. you know, you know, you work in a store, you're asked something, you should have a good idea at least on who to get in touch with to find what I need. But anyway, we have a real problem with lack of thought in our country, with a lack of work ethic. And that's partly why we have a lot of problems today. Well, have a great day, and do what you need to do, reach your goals, and have a good life.